Man, they even interviewed that guy after the match, the Kyurem guy. After he went 0-3, they interviewed him. There's got to be some sort of inside joke that I don't understand. Hi guys, NinjaNick333 back with another round of the Champions League, and oh look at that! Since we can't put the Kyurem guy on stream anymore, let's put the same Giratina Lost Box guy on stream for the 3rd round in a row. Oh my god. So they put both of these guys on stream 3 rounds in a row. I'm losing my mind, guys. I'm losing my mind. So yes, this guy on the right is playing Giratina Lost Box with those Giratina sleeves, giving it away. Never use sleeves that give away what your deck is. That's just advice, like, especially on like PTCG Live and stuff. Like, I would play PTCGO all the time, and I would always go against an opponent that had a Mew coin, Mew sleeves, and a Mew deck box. And I'm like, oh boy, I wonder what they're playing. And then they flip over a Mew V, and I'm like, oh, I never would have guessed. So yeah, it can change. If your opponent knows what you're playing going into the match, they can always start a different Pokemon than they would otherwise. So it looks like this deck on the left is Chien-Pao. I'm very excited to see this. So that active Pokemon is the Chien-Pao. He's going to use his ability to search his deck for 2 water energies. They can do that once per turn. It's pretty powerful. The Battle VIP Pass also got the Radiant Greninja as well as the Palkia V. Palkia V can evolve into the Palkia V-Star in order to charge up one of these Chien-Paos fairly easily. So he attaches for turn, or no, he's discarding for the, yeah, make that a little more clear, please. So he discards the water energy with the concealed cards to draw 2 more cards, gets a Bidoof as well as a Frigibax, I believe his name is. I'll get better with the names. There's 1,008 Pokemon now, so I used to be very proud on the fact that I knew... Like, I used to be able to give you, like, heights of Pokemon from, like, Gen 1 and 2 and stuff. Like, I know that Furret and Charizard are the same height. Or no, Furret's, like, 5'11", and Charizard's, like, 5'4", or something. Like, Furret's, like, freaking huge, man. But a lot of that information has been diminished because I had to dump it to make room for all of these new Pokemon names, and there are still some that I just cannot remember. So, yeah, really stellar start from Chien-Pao here. So, this Giratina deck did brick the last 2 times we saw it on, but it did manage to win one of those games, even though it bricked for 2 turns, because the opponent just bricked even harder. So, we are going to see, finally, people with wins on stream as well. I'm very excited to see, because every single match I've saw had 0 wins. So we are going to be using our Comfey's Flower Selectings to get some cards into the Lost Zone, even a Chorus's Experiment to get a couple in there as well. The Jet Energy can be attached to the bench Pokemon to force it active. It's like a switching effect. And then uses that same energy card to retreat. A very great inclusion to these Lost Box decks going forward. And hits with the Cramorant for 110. That does 2-shot the Chien-Pao, so it would have been a lot better to see maybe the start of the Radiant Greninja, but of course he did have to search that off of the Battle VIP Pass. So if that's your only Pokemon in play, you got to start it. So it would have been, again, a lot better maybe to start the Bidoof or the Frigibax or something, just because then it could just soak up that damage instead of one of your 2 prizers. You really want to save the Chien-Paos to be able to knock out these Giratina VMAXs. So we are going to go in with the ability of the Chien-Pao to search for 2 water energies, a lot like the Professor's Letter of old, as well as the Capacious Bucket that just rotated. And we are going to use Irida as well to search our deck for Rare Candy, Baxcalibur, playing all of those alt arts. You love to see it. Really great artwork in this set, I do have to say. So Baxcalibur, I don't remember what its ability is, but it's very much like, or I can't remember the name of it, but it's very much like the Deluge on multiple Blastoise cards we've had in the past, as well as the Rain Dance Blastoise from base set as well. So you are allowed to just attach as many water energy for a turn as you'd like. So very, very stellar ability here. Looks like he's tapping it to show that he's used the ability, but you don't have to. It's as many times as you want per turn. And with the stadium that he has in play, does allow you to put the energies back into your hand when you retreat as opposed to discarding them. So I believe it's called Skater's Park. So you'll love to see that as well. So we are using the Deluge-like ability again. Comment down below if you actually know what the name of it is, because I refuse to look it up. I just want to call it Deluge, kind of like how my friend calls Refinement Trade. So the Palkia V-Star was promoted. It got 2 energy and is able to just hit for a whole bunch of damage because the benches have a lot of Pokemon on them. Does 60 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon. So again, you love to see it. It can be used as an attacker with a little bit higher HP than Chien-Pao. Very easy to set up with just 2 water energy. And it also has its ability, its V-Star power, to be able to set up Chien-Pao for a large knockout as well. So this Kyurem will likely, or this Palkia will likely be, I'm so used to seeing Kyurem on stream, it's crazy, I apologize, is likely going to be used for knocking out these Comfeys and the like, whereas the Chien-Pao will be tried to be reserved for the Giratina, especially if it goes into a Giratina. The Giratina is, if the Giratina is the one that's forced to attack into the Chien-Pao, it kind of negates that 110 damage that was put down by the Cramorant, because it would be one-shotting that Pokemon either way with a lost impact. So, I mean, it'll make a difference if there's the Shred. The Shred can take the knockout on Chien-Pao, so we might actually see the Giratina not evolve in order to play around the fact that he would have to Lost Zone his energies. But again, if he were to evolve, he does get a boosted 60 HP. Making it so they need 1 more energy card in order to take a knockout, which could be the difference between life and death. So we are using a Nest Ball to get down the Manaphy. Very important, because your opponent does have a way to attach infinite water energy from hand every turn, as well as a Radiant Greninja in play. Could always knock out double Comfey. So this does seem like it would be a very good matchup for the Chien-Pao, but again, starting the Chien-Pao is probably the worst part of this matchup so far that we see. So we are going to see a switch card is going to move that Comfey out of the active spot after it's used its ability, and we are going to go for the Lost Impact here. That will Lost Zone 2 energy, putting 9 in the Lost Zone now, getting us closer here to the Sableye turn, as well as one-shotting the Kyurem V-Star. So that does force Chien-Pao up here, and there is another Giratina on the bench, which again could choose not to evolve in order to just get Mirage Gated 2 and knock out the Chien-Pao. So it's going to be really interesting. This is very back and forth, it seems. So again, Chien-Pao going to use its ability, get another 2 water energy from deck to hand. And this matchup might come down to who draws better off of an Iono or Roxanne. Looks like we are going to use a Nest Ball. It's one of those League Cup arts that we got over here, I believe. But it was just a regular alt art for them. A regular uncommon, or maybe rare, because it does look hollow. Is going to get another Frigibax in order to be able to potentially evolve that next turn. Let's see. Ultra Ball is getting rid of the Lost City. Don't really want to be putting extra cards in the opponent's Lost Zone during this matchup. It's a lot better for, you know, maybe if you're against Miraidon, you can Lost Zone their Miraidon or their Raikou, I guess. I'm not sure what the Lost City is exactly for in this deck, but it's a pretty decent stadium nonetheless. You can also always take a knockout with the Luminion at some point. The Luminion can knock out a Manaphy or a Comfey, and then shuffle itself back into the deck along with the energy that was on it. So a lot more of a conservative play. Could always put up maybe the Frigibax to take a hit as well. Again, not sure why we're tapping the Baxcalibur when we're using the ability, since it's multiple times per turn that you can use it. Usually you tap the card to signify that its once per turn ability has been used. So we are going to go in with the Bibarel as well. We're going to draw until we have 5 cards in our hand. So really good. If you guys want to play Chien-Pao, there is an EX battle deck that I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming out, but it does have one copy of Chien-Pao EX in it, the regular half art one. The Chien-Pao is worth about $11 and the deck itself is $10. So you can buy 3 of those to get your Chien-Paos at basically their regular cost anyway and get a little bit of extra cards on the side. And then you can combine that with a Palkia V-Star battle deck, which is Palkia and Bibarel in it. And then all that you need are like a 303 Baxcalibur line with rare candy. And you have the deck. So you can almost get this deck exclusively from just buying stuff at Walmart, which is really sweet. Although you should always support your local game stores because they are better than the big box stores. They usually care about you, except in my area. There are a couple that don't, but that's besides the point. So we do see an Iono is going to shuffle both hands, put them on the bottom of the deck, and then they're going to draw cards equal to the amount of prize cards both players have remaining. So the player who played it is only getting 3 cards off of this, and the opponent is getting 4. But he has a whole bunch of cards in hand, so I'm not quite sure if he just did not do... Okay, I guess he just did not do it yet. Yeah, so I'm not sure why you would Iono yourself to such a small hand size like that. Or no, the opponent played it. I guess he discarded his Iono or something last turn. I'm not quite sure, but it looks like the opponent played the Iono. Thankfully, things are happening pretty fast here. So we did see the knockout of the Giratina V-Star to take 2 prize cards. Oh yeah, I think that's what happened. I think he Iono'd and then he took 2 prize cards. Or was it Iono Bibarel take 2 prize cards? Either way, he had a lot of cards in his hand. So really good on the Lost Box deck to be able to find that Iono when he did. Resetting himself to a higher hand size as well. Oh yeah, because he would have drawn 5 off the Iono. And then 2 prize cards would make a 7-card hand. That would make sense for the amount of cards he had previously. So at least 10 cards in the Lost Zone right now. We are going to be able to use Sableye with the its attack, the Lost Mine. Took me a second to remember that. We're going to put 11 damage counters on the active to knock it out. We have 1 free damage counter. I think we should definitely put that onto the Radiant Greninja. Yes, that is the correct choice. Because now 1 more Lost Mine will be able to knock out the Radiant Greninja. Only thing here is... Actually, no. They do have a Manaphy on the bench. I almost missed it because of the alt art. And it's getting a little bit obscured by that Giratina V-Star. So this... Giratina deck is actually in a really good spot right now. Looks like maybe this is a little bit unfavored of a matchup for Chien-Pao is any Lost Box variant because of the way that the Sableye works. You can just hit in with Cramorant and Sableye and be on a pretty significantly good prize trade. So it looks like we have a couple Chien-Pao in hand maybe. None in play. If we were able to, like, Boss's Orders and Canceling Cologne, I do see that in a lot of lists of Chien-Pao right now, is they're playing one of Canceling Cologne. You could always get that off of Irida as well. So, you could always Irida for the Canceling Cologne, and next turn, Boss's Orders bring up the Manaphy, Canceling Cologne it, and then knock out Double Comfey. And that gets you pretty far. Can swing the matchup in your favor. But setting up that over the course of 2 turns like that, especially with a card like Iono in format, is pretty difficult to do. So if maybe you're able to, say, knock out an opponent's Pokemon, and they're like bricking a little bit, they just promote their Manaphy, you can Canceling Cologne it and take the 2 prize knockout on the 2 Comfeys. It's a little bit better than that. But this is, again, all hypothetical situations. So we are seeing the Avery here. This is huge. So they're going to have to keep the Manaphy in play. So that does force the discard of the Radiant Greninja. So that's really great for this player on the left here with the Chien-Pao. The only way that this would have been better is if they were... I mean, if they could have, like, found a way to force Manaphy active. Like if they were playing something along the lines of Cross Switcher, but you can't play that. You can't fit that in this deck. It's too much. They could have Cross Switchered up the Manaphy and then done that. But it looks like we are going to take our final 2 prize cards. We are just going to Escape Rope Boss to force up the Luminion and our own Giratina V-Star. Use our V-Star power, which auto knocks out the opposing Pokemon when you have 10 cards in the Lost Zone. Takes the last 2 prizes of the game and is able to end up taking that. So 2-1 now. Their first round that we saw on stream here, he did lose, but he's been able to win out after that. So yeah, it looks like Lost Box definitely has a favored matchup against Chien-Pao, which is a little sad because Lost Box does get a lot better with the reprinting of Super Rods. So it looks like it's just going to be another Lost Box format for us, guys. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe and all that good stuff. We will see you guys next time.